Thank you very much, sir, for taking out your time. It is my pleasure to invite Mr. Kunal Kumar, who is a joint secretary and the mission director of the Smart City Mission, the most exciting mission at the national level, and of course having a international visibility. Is from the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. I think I know him more as an intellectual than as a civil servant, as a bureaucrat, because we had the opportunity of interacting with him. And sir, this morning, Malini, you have any slides for him, just to give him a brief of what happened this morning? Is that what you're saying?
Not in the morning, sir. I can just take you through. Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Malini. So we've had some very interesting presentations from about 15 innovators so far, and two panel discussions, one on understanding innovators' dilemma as to how they want to work with cities, but what are the challenges they're facing, one on investors' dilemma, where they want to work with cities and investors both, and what is it that they need. And we have more than 1,700 participants today, sir, and 75% of them are cities. And we just want to show you a couple of pictures. Shruchi, if you'll just move the slides quickly, one after the other, as to how keenly all the members are sitting. Next slide, just keep moving. I think plastic waste, they're all, while we see lesser login, they're all logged into one account, and there are hundreds of members, environment engineers, ward secretaries who are sitting and watching this program very keenly. And we are really grateful that you have taken time out. Your talk would be even more motivating for them to take up, to open up their mind to these innovations and start collaborating with investors and innovators to bring the much needed change in plastic waste management. That's it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Malini, for putting together. It's not about the numbers, but each municipality has organized their own link and then trying to disseminate, sir. That's, I think, the message Dr. Malini is sharing. So, friends, with this few words of introduction, I now request Kunal Kumar sir to give us a sense of what's happening under the smart cities, because circular economy is central to smartness, as you have said earlier. So, and plastics is integral to this whole circular economy story. And in this morning, we have a lot of innovators with very practical ideas, but struggling to work with cities. So any advice to them and advice to the municipalities also would be very useful from you, sir. Over to you. Thank you very much.
It's an honor for me to be part of this function. Before I speak, I just want to check if I'm audible.
Very much. Thank you. It's crystal clear.
Thank you. So I really compliment ASCI. Professor Chari, I've known him for a long period of time during my days as a player and now as a coach, maybe. And of course, Dr. Malini and colleagues, everyone, for institute this platform called Inkwash. And I know it's always a real hard work goes into doing something like this, and having not only created the platform, but having promoted so many innovations which you actually have seen through the program that you've organized, especially in areas which are very close to every individual: water, sanitations, hygiene, public health. These are areas of critical concern and cause a lot of bad quality of life and loss of economic output if they're not put right. So these are very important, and we're talking in the context of the circular economy. I think the economy is always circular. Something which goes up has to go down. Newton's law applies everywhere. Each force has an anti-force. But the circularity of the economy that exists naturally plays out in the long run and plays out in the ways that we hardly can influence or may and may not work positively for humanity as a whole. So when we do these micro things, for example, as a municipal commissioner or as a city engineer, you're installing a new street light, or you are paving a new road, or you're building a new drainage system, or you are, let's say, buying a certain kind of vehicle, or maybe buses are getting purchased for public transport. Each of these decisions are affecting the circular economy, and each of them are in their own ways, which we can perceive and cannot perceive, affecting the dynamic equilibrium which exists between so many different things, which defines the circular economy. And so, an understanding of the circular economy at the macro level, where it naturally plays out, and at the micro level, where we influence it in good or bad ways, is very important. And even more important now, with what we have seen in the last year, uh, of course, not to say that not having a circular economy is the cause of the COVID pandemic. But what I'm hinting at is that there are a lot of interrelations which we may not be aware of, and therefore it's always important that, especially as city administrators and people like innovators and startups and people who build products for a large mass of people, are very aware of these concepts, because they have very serious implications to this phenomenon. I'm also happy that UNDP is partnering with ASCII. UNDP has been always a strong supporter of these initiatives with us, and therefore, from the Mahua side, from the Smart City Mission side, I would say that this is an interesting event. We would like to, see how many of the innovations that come out really actually get utilized in cities, and are really able to contribute to meaningful, positive change in our urban ecosystem. Uh, I was told by my colleagues that over 20 exciting innovations have been shared, and in fact, a lot of them have been very interesting. So I would definitely, at some point after this function, want to go through them individually. Maybe I'll set up a call with Professor Chari and his team, and we will then try to see how, because Professor Chari is aware that we are also putting together the City Innovation Exchange. This is another platform which is hopefully going to go live next month. And this is something that we've done along with Startup India to actually become a bridge, or a sort of, in very crude terms, become a discovery platform like a Facebook for innovators and city administrators to meet each other online. It's like a coffee shop where you can come together and talk to each other and find, common ground. And I would love all these innovations that have been showcased during your program to be actually hosted on that. And while individual talks with city managers is fine, but it's always good to be on a platform. And I think that's been one of our Achilles heel in our context, because we've not been able to do a platform approach to innovation within the smart cities, which of course is an evolution. So we've started in different ways, and now we're moving towards having a platform-based approach to actually have a sort of not institutionalized innovation, I wouldn't say that, but institutionalize the way innovation is sourced, and the way innovators and city administrators meet each other, the way academic institutions and research organizations also talk to cities, and so on and so forth. And so we can see how we can iteratively improve that going forward. I know one of the points that always innovators have in mind is it's tough to actually engage beyond, say, an award or a selection of this kind, and actually do a pilot, and even more going ahead beyond the pilot and do a full-scale deployment. This is not a typical urban problem, and this is a problem of traditional ways of procurement which have existed in government for a long period of time. Government was maybe a startup, I don't know when, 2000 years back, and or maybe even before that. And so as the startup became a multinational corporation and its startup becomes a big entity, it goes on to improve its checks and balances, and it becomes such an entity that power isn't concentrated in one person's hand. There are so many procedures, and these procedures essentially are made for keeping the bad out, but in the sense of keeping the bad out, sometimes the good also becomes difficult to manage. So, but the government, and India has been, at a faster trajectory to many other countries. I'll just give you an example of the United States. The Small Business Innovation Funding Program, which they have started in 1992. And today we are roughly around 3 decades after that. And the direct sourcing of innovations from small businesses in the US even today is 3% after 3 decades. So it's not always that, we think that it's not happening in India, and India is somehow not being able to do while other countries are doing. In fact, many other countries are looking up to us for our startup policy and innovation policy. You have to understand that there is a fine balance between innovation and a procurement which can go wrong, and if the rules are not set right. So I think we are very close to cracking that problem. I think you will see that sooner. In fact, in the month of March, we are coming out with a challenge called the Transport for All Challenge, wherein for the first time we are testing out a new way of procurement. And we are inviting all smart cities to look at new procurement guidelines where we would probably, if all goes well, we would be allowing a direct purchase from innovators and startups to a certain amount, which probably could be around 2 to 3 crores to begin with. If they go through the SIX platform, and there are certain procedural issues which are not very cumbersome, and because it's on a platform, everybody can see it, and it's very transparent, and so it will happen fast and all that. So we would love to do that as soon as possible. So the idea I'm giving you is it's not about innovations only in water and sanitation. I think it's like a garden. If 1 or 2 trees are actually, maybe rotting, it may not be a problem in 1 or 2 trees. It could be also the problem in the soil, the garden itself, which is what we're trying to rectify. I think these fundamental issues of procurement, of engaging with startups, and having a platform approach and visibility is something that we're trying to fix. It's an evolution. It has taken a long period of time to other countries, and I'm sure that we will take much, much lesser than them, and we will be cracking this issue. My request to all the startups and all the innovators on today's program is to look at SIX the moment it is launched. You will certainly come to know about it. Professor Chari will also have a tab on that, and then sooner than later, you should also get yourself profiled on that platform so that your visibility increases. Obviously, all of us are here and we are innovating because we are passionate about plastic waste and its reduction. After 2019, when the Prime Minister actually said that we have to do away with single-use plastic, I think a lot has changed on ground. A lot of people are actually moving the stepping up the ante against plastic waste. And I think the innovations that you guys have created and have talked about are going to be useful for smart cities, and not only smart cities, for every city. This artificial definition of a smart city being a city within the mission and a city outside the mission not being a smart city. I think a smart city is essentially a city which is doing things smartly, which is working for, which is doing things which work for their people, and can make everyone feel inclusive, feel a part of the city, and feel that the city cares for them. So I think waste management, hygiene, water are very, very important issues. And I think another area of concern and a lot of action that will be required is how do we fund the gap in service delivery that we have. It's easy to say that we have to fix water, we have to fix sanitation, we have to fix this, but the immense amount of investment that will be required is something that we have to think about. I think one of those, again, those fundamental things like the garden thing instead of a tree thing is, which is also like, the woods and the trees, is, I think, finance. And I think smart, innovative finance, outsourcing, raising money from the markets, creating innovative ways at the state level of helping small cities to be able to source products, having startup policy. In fact, just recently the innovation index was released, and some of the states are doing better than the others. So what can other states learn from the states like Maharashtra, Kerala, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, who are leading the tables in that in the innovation index, is something that we will have to do deeper to make these things possible. I think the other thing is, if you read all the reports about urban, most of them talk about, X trillion dollars of investment needed by 2030, Y trillion dollars of investment needed by 2025. Good to say on paper, it's very difficult to get that kind of investment. And therefore, the entire thinking about urban and probably the entire approach to urban that we have, which comes weird countries. Why I say weird, WEIRD, is Western, educated, industrialized, rich, democratic. Most of the even the literature on urban planning and what cities are, spatial equilibrium, city planning, urban design, we have to build our own lexicon. We have to build our own dictionary. We have to be contextual in the way we look at things in India, and maybe we can do it at 1/10 the cost. We can maximize, we can get more out of less. We can do things in our own different way, which will not only serve us, but serve the entire fraternity in South Asia and maybe Africa, which is where the 90% of the urbanization in the next couple of decades is going to happen. So in that context, this kind of a momentum that an event like this provides is immense. And I think we should give more power to events like this. And I wish ASCI continues this work forward. And I'd love to associate with this work in some way or the other. Maybe you can have a seamless tie-up with SIX, and also if you can see that some other ways can be found out of linking the innovators with the Smart Cities mission, and as I say, much beyond the Smart Cities mission also. We will be happy to do that with you. So maybe I've taken enough time and I should stop now. And thank you so much for making me this a part of this function. And I wish all the success to everyone who is on this call. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. The City Innovation Platform Exchange, I think, is super useful for all the startups and innovators, because it gives a very formal platform for them to engage with city leadership as well as other collaborations, both development partners as well as your own folks. There's so much of opportunity to collaborate between themselves, actually, because circular economy is some waste coming out from one operation can be useful for another operation within this fraternity. So I think this is fantastic. Sir, a couple of questions. One from my side. If I will not take much time, I know you have other commitments. This morning, one thing that came out during all the presentations is that they're not ideas and they're not laboratory science experiments, they're actually business models. So unlike many other sectors, the innovations in this plastic waste management are actually very, very business oriented, because they make fuel out of it, they make bricks out of it, they make furniture out of it, they can blend with the road construction activity. But all they're asking for are actually very, very small asks. For example, I asked one Mr. Godgill, what do you need from city? Because you have some great idea. He says, मेरे को एक छोटा सा land चाहिए and a pricing mechanism with the commercial operators to give them the material. This is one ask. The other ask is that I make a product which the city should make it as a mandatory for road construction activity after going through due diligence, after checks and balances. So they're not asking for money, but they're asking for certain procedural concessions. Now, I think it is very, unlike other sectors like C&D waste or any other sectors, there's a lot of concessions, monetary transactions are required. Whereas what we see from this is, these are more of a non-monetary transactions where under the 100 smart cities, and you've been a big champion of the procurement reforms also. Is there any way we can make it that this is a non-negotiable thing, that waste plastic should go for road construction? There should not be any option B, because the minute we give option B has many perverse incentives. So can we make such non-negotiable reforms, at least to begin with, under the smart city mission, because these are smart ideas. Many other countries are not doing it. I think we should become the thought leaders. Sir, audio.
Professor Chari, yeah. So smart ideas sometimes become unsmart if they are mandated. Because you end up maybe promoting one innovation and actually restricting many others from taking place just because you've mandated something. That's one reason why mandating doesn't really work, especially in an evolving field like plastic waste management should not be considered. What better option would be if at the level of the central government we can look at certain standards for the products that are created out of it. And if we can standardize those products and we can say that these standardized products, there's a mechanism for certification. And if the standardized products are of this certificate kind and they, get the tick mark from that certification, then they can be used for, road construction, or they can be used for building construction, or they can be used for this, they can be used for that. That I think is the market making that we should be doing in the central government level. Number one. Number two is about about the smart cities mission versus, again, I'll say this, that we would promote more experimentation within smart cities. Unlike other cities, I think we will have the funds, and I'll encourage experimentation of many kinds. So one of the ways of discovering these new ideas again could be the SIG platform, because we've struggled with it. I mean, I'm telling you, I have been a municipal commissioner. I mean, I may have been for 4 years in Pune and yet may not have come across an idea which would have been existent, because you're always caught up with the here and now and what is happening in a distant land, or maybe just nearby in Pimpri Chinchwad. You may not come to know about it. It's a funny world. It's Hyderabad doesn't know what is happening in Secunderabad and vice versa. And so the platform approach should get more engagements, and we are very committed to making this work. We are very committed to see that if we are talking on some similar platform 1 year from now, we should have largely fixed the procurement issues in smart cities. We should have increased experimentation appetite. We would have given performance orientation, even greater fillip, and we should have made visibility between innovators and city administrators more prominent. And I think the results of that, coupled with if some kind of standardization exercise can be taken up, which makes these products reach a wider market, I think those will be better ways of doing it rather than mandate.
Thank you very much. Any 1 minute, any panelists or any of the innovators on this panel, he has another 1 or 2 minutes. Any observations? Kunal Shah or anyone would like to say anything?
Good evening, sir. Can I say something?
Yeah, you can introduce yourself very quickly and then pose the question.
Thank you, sir. Smart City के जो initiatives हैं, these are really very good. और हम लोग काम भी कर रहे हैं स्मार्ट सिटी के साथ अजमेर में. सर जो लैंड की बात आई है, that is very important. म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशंस के पास अवेलेबिलिटी नॉर्मल है, और अगर वाइबिलिटी आती है प्रोजेक्ट में, तो अगर सिर्फ लैंड और पावर कनेक्शन हमें मिल जाता है, वी कैन डू रिसाइकलिंग, और जितना भी वेस्ट का मेन है प्लास्टिक का, दैट कैन बी. थैंक यू.
राजेश जी, आई थिंक हमने जब पुणे में इस तरह से किया था, क्योंकि आपको पता होगा कि पुणे में जो डिसेंट्रलाइज मॉडल है वो यूनिक है, क्योंकि उधर हर वार्ड में करीबन एक बायोगैस प्लांट है. अब तो वार्ड में नहीं बोल सकते, वार्ड्स की संख्या बढ़ गई, बट इन अ सिटी लाइक पुणे वी हैव अराउंड 30 बायोगैस प्लांट्स, मल्टीपल डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ प्लांट्स. तो जरूरी नहीं है कि लैंड किसी इनोवेटर के नाम पे किया जाए. वहां पे हर्डल्स आते हैं. लैंड ट्रांसफर और लीज इज डन. Even if the use of the land is allowed for a certain specific purpose, the ownership of the land or the lease of the land doesn't transfer into the name of the innovator. Even that should suffice. So, the agreement which the municipal corporation has with you is that XYZ land of this much area will be used by you for this purpose, where this kind of plant will be installed. And of the product which comes out of it, this will be the amount of share that goes to you, this will be the amount of share that goes to us, or whether it is a zero share, it could be a different business model. And if this, because there's a lot of investment that the private entrepreneur is putting in. So he puts in about 4 crores, 5 crores, 10 crores. So there is a payback period should be calculated for that kind of technology, and a minimum duration of, at least the payback getting successful by say 20, 25% or 50%, just like we calculate internal rate of returns for, other projects, we should be able to calculate. And then, so then it becomes, most of the time I see, give us a land for 30 years and we will do wonders. That, comes many people, I've seen in Pune also, करीबन 50 एकड़ जमीन पे प्रोजेक्ट्स बने, अब लीगल हर्डल्स के कारण से वो जमीन पे हम कुछ नहीं कर पाए. So you should create something. As a businessman, if you are, as an entrepreneur, if you're interested in proving your product, be limited to proving your product and getting the right benefits out of it. And municipal corporations के लिए learning है, they also should play the, the game in a very smart way, in the sense of allowing the use of land, not getting into land disputes going forward, yet being given the full space to the entrepreneur to prove his or her entrepreneurship or the venture right, and reaping rewards not only for himself but for the city and the citizens also. And also there has to be a lot of citizen engagement. When I say citizen engagement, people who live nearby, people who are going to users of the product. If you are going to make some product out of it which is going to be useful for the builder community, you should be able to engage with the builder community before that. Look, this is the kind of product which is going to come out, and this will be useful for you. So we are we're betting on this plan because I think this is the market we are looking at. And so having all that 360-degree approach is important. It's just not give a land, give plastic, and here comes the output, and that's all. So we have to have a 360-degree approach, which is where I think these things sometimes go wrong. But I think now we've got some good examples, and I hope we will keep creating some better examples in the future.
Thank you so much, sir. Just one line. सर आपने बहुत सॉल्यूशन बिल्कुल ठीक दिया है. बहुत ज्यादा ड्यूरेशन की जरूरत नहीं है, थोड़ी सी भी ड्यूरेशन होती है जितना जरूरी है, 5 years और समथिंग. सर एक सजेशन हो रहा है, अगर पॉसिबल है, बहुत सारे जो इनोवेशंस कर रहे हैं, हम लोग भी कर रहे हैं, रिसाइकलिंग कर रहे हैं. समटाइम्स वी आर रेडी टू इन्वेस्ट आल्सो इन लैंड. सपोज इंडस्ट्रियल एरिया है उस एरिया में, so we are ready to buy that also.
That's another business model, Rajesh. That's another business model where you are ready to invest in the land also. So it's only about agreement to have dedicatedly. You should be able to get some plastic waste from the municipal corporation. That business model can also be worked out. So that is interesting, Professor Chari. In fact, ये राजेश आप कुछ बोलना चाह रहे थे.
सॉरी सर, ये सर होता है कि जैसे इंडस्ट्रियल एरिया है, वहां से अगर प्रायोरिटाइज हो जाता है कि इंडस्ट्रियल एरिया से हमें कुछ सब्सिडी मिलके लैंड मिल जाता है, वी आर रेडी टू.
So my request to ASCI will be that you're now going deeper into these issues, which is great. If you can come out with a specific recommendations, I would promise you that if they are good enough and fit the legal this thing, we will definitely take them forward. So if you have some interesting ideas which come out from these discussions today or maybe sometime later, please share with us, and we will definitely look at them. These are business models. We have to be able to successfully on a piece of paper be able to show how business models should be calculated for these kinds of stuff and what would be the different variations. Because we just talked of 2 variations. There could be other 4 different kind of variations. So we can look at all these variations, make it into a recommendatory this thing, and give it out to all cities. Maybe have a training module around it. So I think we have now the National Urban Learning Platform. We're conducting a lot of trainings on it. So we could use that for creating a training module, and ASCI could probably create that training module so that we can reach out to many cities on this.
Thank you. Any other question? Otherwise, I don't want to.
Can I ask you something?
Who is this?
This is Konshwit Arora from.
Yeah, Arora. Boldi, jaldi, quick, one last question.
So, sir, I need your thoughts on this. So, actually, we are based out of Udaipur, and Udaipur Municipal Corporation has given their waste management plan for 3 months to us on trial basis, if we can operate and run it successfully. I need your thoughts on this. If they can make this mandatory, that the bricks that we are making using plastic waste in construction, if they can make it mandatory to their contractors, like around 20 to 30% compulsory.
Miss Arora, I asked on your behalf. I asked the same question. So, sir ने already.
Miss Arora, मान लीजिए आपका ब्रिक हमने मैंडेटरी कर दिया, कल को इमारत गिर गई, आपकी
sir,
तो
on a
नौकरी
secondary
बंद हो जाएगी और
project.
हमारी भी
No,
नौकरी
no,
बंद हो
no.
जाएगी।
No,
नहीं
no,
तो देखो
Maharat
उसका
sir.
तरीका है, उसका तरीका है। देखो हमको हमको लगता है कि हमारा प्रोडक्ट मैंडेटरी हो जाएगा, ये जो है ना, मतलब ये हम लोग चाहते हैं कि मोनोपोलाइज हो जाए। अगर आपका प्रोडक्ट ठीक है तो वो एक स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन की अगर प्रक्रिया रहे, देखो दिस इज द वे टू सॉल्व दिस प्रॉब्लम। If there is a standardization method and you send your brick and it's certified, it's like an AG mark or an ISI mark, and once it is proven, then it can be used for any activity. So there's no need for mandation. In fact, if it is available at a lesser price, which will of course be, and of course, no doubt, Udaipur Municipal Corporation should promote it. It's their own product. It should make this happen. While I'm saying in a very general sense, Udaipur should get it certified, and Udaipur should push the building community in Udaipur to get it done. But beyond that, in a fundamental way, this will be a better approach to solving this problem
Okay.
instead of just saying mandate. So I'll have to stop here, Professor Chari. I
Thank you,
have to
sir.
go to my
Thank you.
wife.
Thank you so much, sir.
Last
Greatly
5 minutes.
appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate for your message
Thank
as
you.
well as, yeah, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
So.